Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. So I'm just waiting for things to load here. We do have news. Well, let's grab our links, I guess. Here's that. Bonds. And right there. All right. Okay, so for today, for news, we get Canadian CPI, existing home sales. I thought for some reason we got advanced GDP, but that must be next week. Is that next week? Yes, it's next week. So today, nothing really at the 6:30 hour. Okay. Bitcoin down a little bit after hours, but not much movement, and they did really try and sell it yesterday, but it's kind of recovering. I'm wondering if that's it. That'd be disappointing if it was. Okay, so we started. What was the first tick here? It was 30. So we're like right at the point of control. Well, right at the bull bear zone right here. So we could push down a little bit, then maybe I could go short. It's kind of rotated around here quite a bit, hasn't it? Kind of it, but in a double distribution. It's interesting. I saw John here posted something about TPOX. Yeah, well, so let's pull this one over. So we are kind of below this thing. I do think we could get a move down. I don't think that test is done. They did get lower this push down, so like a little bit of a pullback, and then some selling would be nice. But at the moment, we're in a place where we can't really tell. So. Alright, well, who do we got in here today? It looks pretty light this morning. Fortunately, we always got our one Twitch viewer. Thank you for watching. I don't, whoever it is that watches on Twitch, I think it's some of the guys in the channel, but I always appreciate that we got a few people watching on Twitch. No, we need to enable this.
September, where we look for.
See, I'm wondering if the E-mini is going to make a recovery today. I mean, They made a pretty good low yesterday, but it was higher than the lows previous. So I think we could have a push at least to 2790 in the E-mini. That could push us down. So it's still in a place where I can't really trade it, but if I see some order flow short, I could take it. So keep my eyes on that. And there could be a push up to that to more of the value area though. Black Monday was 31 years ago today. Donald Trump tweeting jobs not mobs now. That's hilarious. We got 3 people on Twitch, see? I think we have more people watching on Twitch than YouTube today, which is unusual. Usually we have like a dozen people watching on YouTube. Well, I appreciate you guys watching, but I hate to break it to you, but it might be really boring. So far, it looks really boring. Well, I mean, we are getting decent up, but was that I came in a little bit late, didn't I? So it does look like I missed the bottom here when it was down here and they bought it up. The Canadian data about to come out, but I don't see any pulling. Could still affect us.
CPI month-on-month -0.4%, year-on-year 2.2%, core month-on-month flat read, year-on-year 1.5%.
Deflation in Canada.
-0.1%, prior revised 0.2%, export toes -0.4%, prior revised 0.8%, comment 1.9%, BIM 2.1% for the CPI, and median in at 2%. Recap the headline numbers: CPI month-on-month -2%, this is estimated as reading this, of the reading, year-on-year 2.2%, percent, 4 month-on-month in as a flat read with a year-on-year at 1.5%.
That's what was CPI? Yeah, CPI. Well, we definitely got to push up, but it was corresponding with the E-mini. I think it was driven by that Canadian news. That kind of concerns me. You don't like trading this when the E-mini is the dominant factor.
Game contesting to internal change.
No, why are you popping up like that? Well, it's super quiet. All the pulling is actually bullish.
Hearing courses in decision on the investment December visuals divided over like guidance.
Okay, well now they're pushing the other side of the view up. Maybe this is buy. But the problem is that we got, because it's a double distribution overnight, I could potentially take this to 0.4 at least if I saw enough volume to really, I saw enough of a thing to convince me, but it's not. I think I really want to see something weird, unusual go on in the 5-year before I want to try and take something. I think if I did take it, it would probably be better to take it in CB. Wonder what you guys are thinking. I wonder if we do end up pushing up to the upper end of the overnight distribution, that's a pretty decent trade in the ZB because it hasn't gone too far yet.
Hope so. Long
On that, currently buying social.
It's not.
buying my way up. Pretty strong move up, so
I mean, it was a really good trajectory, but I just not seeing the volume, especially in the 10-year. Kind of. I think that they just moved up because of the Canadian CPI. I don't think that they actually was volume behind it. It's just like, they pulled.
ES also kind of fell off its highs as well from the overnight.
Yeah, mini also was falling when it happened. Yeah. Which kind of concerns me because I don't want to be the Friday when the E-mini is the dominant factor is particularly. I always hate it when the E-mini is the dominant factor, but especially on a Friday. See now that 335, that this making me wonder a little. And the 5-year looks like it's about to tick up. This is looking a little better. No. I mean, this looks like it should be ticking up, and it's not.
And that's in the end,
There you see this flip.
even if it's marginal, obvious as
Okay.
sources piece.
Let's just remember that it was at the VWAP at the 03, but I want to trade it in the ZB. I can see the opportunity in the ZB. I know that's what screwed me up on Wednesday, but I want to try it again. Okay, so we're getting a big order now in the 5-year. Big order all of a sudden in 5. Is that they're gonna put the brakes on, or is that a spoof? 062 in the 5-year. So highlight that right there. You also got this in the 10. That I think we should pay attention to that. I think this might pull. Especially if the E-mini comes down a little bit, I think it could.
Looks like they want to take it up. There's not really much in the backticking. Much backticking happening.
It pulled. It pulled, but there's some big offers in ZN too.
Yeah, but we got bigger offer or bigger bids behind us.
Well, not bigger than the 58, but yeah, the bid is definitely strong.
52, 54s.
I'm just wondering, the thing that I think is really weird here is that the 10. Well, okay, we need 2 ticks up, but the 10 is almost to the spot, and the ZB is not even close.
Let's see how they react to this 30 level kind of bounced off there in the overnight. This is on us.
I guess I should point out probably part of the reason why the ZB seems like it's down so much more was because they steepened quite a bit on that move up last night. So that pulled at 062 and they backed off of it. That's interesting. And the ZB is kind of looking like it's pivoting. And the 10 is...
I did a few more contracts at 29 before. Looks like be the turning point potentially.
You mean it turning down?
Well, this seems to be a decisive point.
Yeah. It's really weird that that order at 062 in the 5-year pulled, but they didn't go for it. So I'm wondering if they're afraid of it.
He is kind of sweeping up there.
Yeah. And treasuries now are really, really uncertain. Okay, so there's a tick up in the ZN. So I just pull. Not a huge stack though. ZB, of course, not sure. It's a pull, but not a flip. If this flips, then maybe the story becomes different. A little bit more put on the offer there in ZB. Okay, that was a strong uptick in the 10.
At least on ZB, we're getting some pretty decent bids behind us whenever we uptick for the most part. ZN's kind of doing the opposite. Or sorry, ZF.
It was a strong uptick there at 035 in ZN, and then they didn't hold it. And now there's an iceberg. And now 03 is pulling. And fiddling around here. Something's going on, and I'm not so sure. I mean, I think that right now the edge still says up, but the order flow is being like really fishy here, so it's kind of going to be hard to predict. Hard to predict what it's going to do.
They're not taking 30 yet.
The iceberg.
Guide to 2.
They're pushing them up in the 10-year. Looking at. Okay. 5-year cleared 062. Well, 062 just cleared there on almost nothing.
I'm not estimates.
I don't know. So they hit this 035 again. Is it gonna just clear easy? The E-mini is coming back down a little bit. They are hitting into 30 now.
What happens at this 31 evens level on ZB if we get up there.
You're still getting this.
Kind of a support. It's VWAP and it's evens, so a lot of things going against it, not pushing through that price.
I don't know. I feel like it should still move up, but I'm kind of wondering if this is a lure.
Specific side.
We're waiting to see what ES does at VWAP at 79.
I just think they should be able to push through that level really easily, and they're not. They're not buying it. So they don't, and it's pulling, so they must think it's a lure.
Well,
See that? So here's ZF back up at it again, and they cleared it. Okay, maybe now they realize it's not so scary.
yep. Probably, but yeah, I'm really worried about, like I said, this 31 evens 01 and on the 30-year. Overnight support, evens, and VWAP. So kind of three things going against it to break through there.
I think they could maybe come all the way down to here where that P is in the mini. But it's really hard to say what it's going to do in the pre-market. I've found it's a lot more difficult of a trade. Okay. So we're still kind of we've traded through 062, but we're still kind of acting like maybe we don't want to keep it. I do like the 04 is pulled. Let's clear out those highlights since they don't really matter anymore. Okay. 5-year ticked up there.
Italy will reply to the EU letter by the Monday deadline, according.
Okay, there's the mini pushing down again.
In the equity, well, some of the auto down. The equity Smith sources. Sonara at 50%, Haddad at 50% of valid vote poll.
Okay. I'm just gonna wait because I don't like that we came back down through the 062. That was kind of why I panicked. They're holding a good bit at 029 now.
Well, that was my one law that put it into 30. Just poke it and see what happened. Yeah, the Igor plays.
Oh, look at that.
Man. And this is some pretty strong buy pressure, I feel, across the board. Like I don't really see any signs of it reversing other than where we were a few weeks ago. ES is back on its way down too.
Yeah, I think that ES could potentially see the bottom of the value area if they keep going down. But I'm not sure. Like there's still that 67 at 045 in the 10-year. So like I don't know, they kind of made it look there like it was going down for a second, and then they made this push on but there's still not like to the spot where it would actually turn around if it did.
Did you see what happened when we got up there? Like, is it legit 67, or did they pull some of it, or was it too fast?
No, I think it's legit. It's been building as we came up to it.
Okay. Hold it. I'm kind of like disgustingly long right now, so I'm really nervous about this.
So when it ticks up to it, there's always going to be about 1 to 2,000 that are going to pull. So to come up there and see it be 4 or 5,000 is not unusual. But the question is, if they print into it, does it stay above 4, essentially? And then when they tick back down, they add more. And it's kind of stacked as we moved to it. So it is an area, I think that but it kind of depends on the kind of market, like that guy might really want to get filled. And you can kind of see it forming in the 30-year now as well at 138, which definitely wasn't there before, even though it was an even price. It was kind of funny. Oh, Yoda wants to go short here.
Italy Salvini saying ready to remove parts of the tax plan that 5-star objects to repeat that. Salvini ready to remove parts of the tax plan at the 5-star object.
Okay, well, if we had taken it in the 10-year, we would be at break even now. Did the right thing. Man, whenever you see those 6 to 7Ks in ZN, you gotta take note. The funny thing is that they could have easily have hit that and all 7,000 traded, and then still have gone down. Like because there's like the decision point about how they react to the actual big order being there, and then there's the decision point of how do they react if a volume actually trades there, and both of them could go both ways. But it usually does end up mattering. That's kind of hard to predict, especially rangy action like this. Well, not rangy, but slow action.
Bank of Italy sees Italy third quarter GDP rising spot 2% in second quarter. And in
I like this to be
42
the bottom.
spots billion euro.
Yes, it's kind of
Noting in
yeah,
investors
we're
reduced
upticking
holdings of
on
Italian
the
government
5
bonds by
and
24.
Do you see the 6 here?
could be like some profit taking or a shakeout. Was a pretty strong move up anyway, so it's bound to have
third quarter
like a
GDP
pretty
rising
decent
spot
pullback
1%
at some point.
quarter, 2%.
I wish I had realized this at the time, but a lot of volume traded at 0.35 in the 10-year. Like, that's the point of control now, and it was hardly anything at the beginning of this session. Well, I don't know. I don't like taking trades at the top of the hour here, so I'm just gonna watch it unless it does something like really obvious.
Italy's deputy PM Salvini saying government has the right to continue working. Has changed. Salvini said league not in tax and Salvini PM read the discussion.
Oh yeah, hi Uzi. I haven't seen you. We haven't spoken much this week, but yeah, I took it in the 30 because I thought that maybe this spread would turn around and the bond would equalize a little bit. So that was the main reason. I'm toying around with the idea of, taking trades in these ones when I see a specific opportunity. But time period is just not right for another trade. I really like that trade. I really wish that we had gotten up to 04, but it didn't happen. I'm going to say that was a trade. It was a good thesis. It started to go my way. Could have gotten a little bit more out of it, but I think I ultimately did the right thing and got out of it with a little profit. So I'm happy with how it turned out.
reiterates he's ready to govern with the Salvini says right. Salvini saying he cares about contested tax amnesty, ready to rewrite everything.
Maybe on our way up again.
Salvini saying the criticism of budget law right. Salvini saying some five-star lawmakers they are opposite.
Wife's birthday's coming up and she wants the tile in her house professionally cleaned. That's it. That's all she wants. Why professionally cleaned? Is it like really old tile or something? No, this week was doggy week. I'll tell you what, it's been an interesting week. So Wednesday was really was a real mess in particular.
China's Lee looks forward to the diamond era with the UK.
I mean, it is kind of going a little higher. They're not out of the woods yet, though.
PMA is saying UK sees further strengthening economic ties with China. A little bit more MNI running a story increasingly concerned European mechanism closing down failing banks are inadequate time it is cash with budget awaken over the doom loop between lenders and public finances.
I'm starting to get really uncomfortable with this big order in the 5-year at 062. Like, it's shown up there, and since it's been there, the 5 years just done nothing.
Probably just waiting for the ES Open, Seth.
Yeah, it could be. But if that was the case, why show it now?
Maybe he's got a huge long position. Wants to get out. I mean, he wants to sell there, so I don't know. There's like two theories, right? Because like some people say the big orders they go and they get filled, right? Or they go and they get touched and tested. So I don't know if there's any way to really tell if the big order really has an impact on the direction of the market. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's like almost any other setup. There's two ways or more that they can react to it, and it just kind of depends on what kind of day it is as to what they'll do.
Really like trying to figure out what to do right now because
That was a strong tick right there.
got a decent long position on, but what we're gonna do when it opens up.
E-mini's gearing up for a fight, that's for sure. Look at that, some really big orders before the open.
I'm feeling we might just like sell off in the open.
Governor Carney is speaking at 17:10
Big sell off
PST
and then
with
tear
London Bank
faces
of
off in
England,
the afternoon.
and their secretary is followed
My
by
prediction
Q&A.
for the day. Not very sophisticated, but
Okay, so here we are.
good luck, gentlemen.
Funny how just as I mentioned that in chat, they decide to go up and hit it. But it's super uncertain whether they will actually hit it, go through it, pull, what's going to happen here. Given how quickly we have come up here, if it pulls, I think you could have a good long, but I think that this move up had a lot to do with the E-mini. So here's the E-mini. Okay, here's the open. Oh man, lots of volume, yep.
tightest of ranges on ES right now.
Big volume open for sure.
Is most of the volume happening on limit orders or what's the word? What's the delta?
Overall, we're down still through the open, but there, was like the sellers seemed to make the first initiation. That was just the buyers.
Market selling, open market buying. Market selling is more popular right now.
Well, I mean, they go back and forth a bunch of times at the start, right?
Don't seem to have much reaction here in the Treasury just yet. I guess they're just waiting, like usual, just see what decides to do, and then.
Now that one was kind of interesting because the sellers did make a pretty good push there down. They didn't like make a new low, and the treasuries did not react to it.
Well, I know on TV we're looking at that evens level again, so there'd be a lot of reluctance there. Again, 31s and evens. Kind of a resistance area. They're probably going to need to see a pretty big move down, I think. Not just like a point. Maybe if we start trading like 75 or something on ES, we'll get a reaction up on the.
So here they're holding it again. So they pulled back and the buyers went right through it.
At a 15 tick range on ES right now. 11. I don't know. Counting is hard. Well, we broke out of the range on ES, kind of. Go the other way now.
Be discounting and budget with the
Okay. Buyers making a good push there, but they're not, over the hump.
That on my long.
Use my
It's interesting they came up there. They weren't willing to take the big price like they were last time. So in the 10-year at least, it was a lower high. The other two was equal. I'm liking this.
Or I'm starting to build a short position.
Should have taken the O2.
everyone.
I remember seeing it here and saying, "Oh, I should get short here," and I didn't. I decided I was going to wait, but it's been long enough in the E-mini, and they did get over the hump. I'm a little unsure here. I mean, like the E-mini should come back a little bit. I'm wondering if the Treasuries are just going to decide to bust out the bottom here now. Okay.
They're really fast to swap those bids and offers around whenever we start pulling back on the E-mini. Really interesting to watch.
Yes, sir.
better by Monday midday. Better by.
Man, look at this thing just fall apart. Well, that really fell apart there, didn't it? Wow.
Italian policies.
Should be good to look for a new low, I would think. They're good strong ticks every step.
There's a wall at 21 on
We
ZB,
share these goals.
and the next 3 ticks down.
I think it's going to break, but I took it off because it's, they're fighting back at 31.5. We can just put a stop limit on it. Oh, see, that's exactly what I was worried about.
21.
Nope, don't like it. It could keep going, but let's see.
Tensions. Maintain. Fight disagreements.
Print the lows. Someone do it. I did it.
Okay, that's a little bit more. I think the sellers may get pushed through here.
He says Italian government working very well. Italy's now saying sees reason to budget.
Okay, well, I think I was right about this. Not obviously not in terms of price. There was 2 more ticks in it for me, wasn't there? But I think I was right about needing to be concerned about this 30.5 because we are a tick higher.
Conte says government doing important reform.
But I'm not going to be taking it long because they could just pull back and go back down again.
They now say Italian government. Is less significant than the EU says. Buy spot.
Whoa.
Yeah, then this is one of those moves where you just keep selling the way down, get up to some stupid size, and then you take profit, and you make your money.
Yeah, on those kind of moves, it's really hard, at least for me. Hold on.
With respect
That 12,000 bid though.
Yeah, so for me, it's really hard for me to know whether it's really going to keep going or not. Like, with that much momentum, it was really, really likely that they were going to try and create a stop run of some sort. Although I took it off before the stop run because I could see that they were kind of fiddling around with that price and I didn't like it. But then, sometimes they'll hit it and you get the stop run, and sometimes they'll hit it and all of the orders just get absorbed like they had happen right there. And that's why I kind of prefer, like, if I already have some profit, to take that one off, and then if they actually do get through it, to just stop limiting again or something.
Well, I've been selling 25, 23, 1, 29. I'm not very short. You know, that 12K order, I'm guessing everyone's looking at that on ZN, and if that breaks, then got the potential. So I keep printing into these bottoms, these lows of the day with the one lot, and it's never just me for some reason. I always see like 5 or 7 come in. Very curious if there's like some bots or something which are watching for that.
Yeah, I think that with as active of a market as we're having, it's going to be really, really unusual to see only one order print at a price, and then that was all that ever printed there, you know?
There goes my one lot into 30 on the 10-year.
Oh yeah, I see that. See, so like just like with that one, I would be really surprised if you're the only one that ever sells that.
They pulled like 3K off though.
Yeah. Well, it's still 95. It's still ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, they ticked down on ZB.
I'm saying there's 3.
Not alone here.
Now in a ranging market, man, I see that all the time where just one order will print into it and then they move back up.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a slow grind down. But like we saw having on ES, right? It just like blew up. I feel like that's on its way. I don't know. I'm super biased.
The thing is they could sweep through that 30 just like that if they wanted. And then maybe we would see some stops. So I don't feel like that push through the low created stops.
Probably waiting on some of the other products to move before they start to sell through.
There it is.
Hey, damn it! What's that quote? It's like, you seen the video where there's like a guy, and it's like, how many people does it take to start a party or something, and he's just dancing by himself, and then like another guy joins in, and then after 2 minutes, the entire field is just full of dancers.
That's really interesting that they printed through that and nothing. Well, okay, now they're doing it. I was looking at that and thinking, well, maybe they hit it and we go through and there's some stops and then you get one of those reversal potential areas, but they're not doing it. So maybe they just keep going.
this 93 area on the evening as kind of a support.
Do I see this picture?
Curious to see if that breaks. Enter even. Broke.
Block cell.
Well, I'm not really sure what to make of that action at 30 now. It kind of, I mean, that was a really impulsive spot for them to sell that much, and of course they're fighting him now. What about chat in here? Someone just did like 6 rounds of 50 lot buys in a row in ZB. I didn't see that. Did you take any of that, Uzi? That was pretty crazy. Move down. What was it? I haven't seen. Well, I mean, obviously there was some pretty crazy movement last week, right? But I mean, that was a really good classic trend. Okay, here they go. Maybe now they take it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Got a big bid now on 16 on ZB.
They're still not doing stops.
Curious to see how real that is.
16. Yeah, that's big, yeah. Now on this one, if they come back to that 30, I think it should probably hold. In fact, they might have trouble getting past 29.5. What about the E-mini? Where are we at on the E-mini? E-mini is not even. It's kind of getting to the spot where the E-mini is going to encounter resistance, but I think they can want to go for the weekly high.
Yo, Seth, you got a position on it right now?
No, I took the original one, and since then I haven't really seen a clear entry, so I've just been watching. I don't know. I'm kind of kicking myself for where I took it off at, because I was at least 2 ticks too high. But now I'm kind of like, oh, I could have held it. I mean, many times in the past I would have held it. But I don't know. I think it's probably a little better for me to be cautious still. So I got what I wanted.
Short 23 on the 30. Good price. 21s and 17 being a bit of a range on the 30.
Given that the big block sell that we had was at 30, to have gone down to a new low and now being above that 30 isn't a good thing for continued trend. And 4-tick pullback in ZB. So they're kind of right on the edge here of saying maybe the trend is over or not.
Could be an adding opportunity, though. I don't know. Once held.
I'm just doing some counting here, and it looks like that trend in ZB from the top, because the top there was 31, and then we didn't actually touch 16, so it's a 14-tick range. So we come back 7 or 8 ticks, you get a 50% retracement. Would be cautious if we come up to the 23, 24 area. There might be some, you might want to think, oh, it's over, or it's a reversing, but they may come back in there.
Yeah, we only really saw a strong uptick on 1 to 2 on the 30. Everything else was on pretty low volume. So it's not too good to see ES kind of struggling to make new highs, but it is due for a pullback.
Okay, there it is. You're doing the funny business. Am I not going to get filled? I kind of saw a lure there. Crap, I put an order in at 31.5 and I'm 422 in the queue and I don't think it's going to fill.
Get short.
Yeah, to get short on the retest.
Well, yes, it's having a bit of trouble making high. We've made a new low. We're kind of trying to get higher, but
Yeah, that like 50% or 8 tick pullback and during a trend has been a really reliable trade for me in the past. So here, at least 2 ticks out of it. And we actually, right as we sitting here, like a big order at 0.5 in the 5-year has showed up below us.
really need ES to get a little bit higher. Like a point higher would be good.
Okay. Maybe we do get it. I haven't actually ticked that 25 yet. Now that right there, that 25, that would be a spot. If you put a one lot in there, that would really screw a bunch of things up. Because they gave a pretty good opportunity to hit there at 25 and nobody did it. Is it gonna do it? It's looking like maybe they're going to. Okay, we got it. It's looking like they were gonna fill us, but then like this is still weak, so like it still looks like it's gonna tick down away from us. They do have some good bids down here. A little bit careful about this. Well, this could still go either way. There are some pretty strong bids below us. I'm wondering if we tick down, if those pull. It's totally possible that we could just retrace the whole thing and go back to the open. Okay, so these big orders, I mean, there's volume going through there, but the orders themselves aren't exactly holding. They're kind of pulling in, they're hitting it, and then absorbing. And there was some big icebergs there, 20.02 3/4 in the 5-year. The 30-year isn't exactly deciding to sell yet. The E-mini is thinking about what it's going to do. The E-mini kind of looks like it's in the middle of no man's land. Okay. So some buying stepped in there in the E-mini. So that's now two good solid sweeps that didn't necessarily. Well, they did make progress, but it's not. I would have liked to have seen some sort of a cascade off of it. Keep going higher. See if they do it again. Okay. Okay. Small victory. Small victory there. Well, I may have to bail here soon. Okay, that was a good down tick. That 31.5 pulled.
Yeah, what's up?
There's a big iceberg right there. Good grief. You can kind of see where the E-mini is.
Nope. Still holding.
You're going to have trouble right here.
We did make a higher low in ES. Still working on trying to make that higher high.
Yeah, they need to
the
bust
highest
through
high.
this. I think part of the problem in ES is that you had such a strong move up, like the volume profile is just kind of random in this area. Okay. So they're still kind of doing this thing over here in ZN. I should reset everything, huh? Okay. I want to see some buyers here in the ES now. Some of what I'm seeing is a little, I don't know. So only a little bit of that volume came back, but they came all the way. Some buying coming in a little bit, but here again, they're not making progress. Maybe our sweep friends will show up, but I'm starting to get skeptical. Yeah, that's not good.
There goes ES.
Big absorption there. Okay. Well, I'm really tempted to take a short again, but I'm not really seeing a read. I found that my original trade was good, though. I mean, it did have a hard time getting through that price, and maybe I just held it for a little bit too long. But I really thought that some buyers could come in there in the E-mini, and didn't really do it. I did get two MFV though. Maybe I should have taken that one off. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the bathroom and take a break so that I don't click something. Okay, so I'm not seeing the E-mini do its thing yet, but that's a pretty big order showing up in the 30-year. I'm wondering if I can, it doesn't put that there. Okay. Well, the E-mini still looks like it could keep going down, though. They're still trying to buy it. Okay. Pulled. good deal. Well, that 5-year is still selling.
Look at this ES chart. This whole run up, 50% point is 89.25, which we just kind of bounced off of on the last run down. I wonder if that's what's causing some of the selling treasuries. 89.25 midpoint on ES.
Well, and you notice how they came right up to that open price, like I said, and they don't want to go past it. I think I was testing it the other day, and when you break the overnight range, the chances of you closing above the open it's like 75% of the time you close below the open. But I'm more interested in that the ZF is still at its lows in cumulative delta, like it's just been selling the whole way down. They gotta make it on the other side of this profile. Okay, so you're getting strong ticks down when it happens. They're not necessarily holding. 31.5 isn't pulling out either. That's probably going to be the spot that we have trouble with. So you see the game and the stacking. E-mini needs to pick up a bit and push on the other side of the profile for us to go much further, I think. Okay. There you go. Yeah. I don't want to distract myself. I'm really tempted to buy the E-mini right there, but I'm already in a trade. I don't want to manage 2 trades at the same time. Okay. Okay, so they took that. Somebody just rang the doorbell. I don't know if my wife is going to wake up.
Yes, after bouncing off the 50% retracement point on this first run up.
Ooh.
I guess technically a higher low count 91.5.
Yeah, they're really stacking those offers again. Those offers are starting to stack up heavy again.
It looks like the ES downtrend is finished. Next high is 98 even for ES.
Okay. So pretty strong offer there. Pretty strong offer there. They're hitting here, yeah. That's good. I am concerned about the 30 here.
You know, the 5 years like way down there on its lows.
Yeah.
Very much at all.
The 5-year looks like they could very easily make a new low, but I'm unsure about the 10-year with this huge order at 30.
Keep an eye on, again, 98 even on ES. The last kind of recent high.
I might want to take the 3.
The downtrend. Well, the next one, next target.
Okay, I can go and answer the door. So that was funny. I saw that turning around, and I got out, and then I had to go away and I come back and it was 2 ticks up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I made it. So I wasn't sure I really wanted to do that, but I think I did the right thing. But I'm wondering, you get the little pullback in the E-mini. Now here's like the higher low, right?
Yep. We downtick though.
Okay. No, I haven't done that. I may pull this order, but I think that yes should. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. It looks like the E-mini's gonna fight over this spot here. Okay. So they're doing that because the E-mini's up here. So look, a tick back. Yep. Unless the E-mini just like goes. Oh well, hey, that was better. Well, I don't like that. That says to me that it's just robots. Mm. Okay. See that 31, they don't want to. I think that 30.5 is going to be tougher. See, that one's a matter of not getting people to sell. It's not that the bid is too much. Let's clear the trades up here.
trying to pull bids again. I'm selling into it. Maybe has to keep ticking up.
Okay. What does that sound? Is that my daughter upstairs, or is that somebody else saying? See, this is where it would, one lot at 30.5 would have been nice. But there's a reason nobody does it. Now we're gonna tick back down again. Probably.
Doesn't make a newer high, higher high, and we're kind of making slightly lower low.
Yeah, that looks good. They should barrel through there yet. Well, if I had left it on, I would have gotten filled. I would like to see slightly more pressure in the 5-year.
97.5 is what we're looking for on ES for a higher high. 97.5 or 98 even.
Okay. too many stacking here. I see bull come in. Well, I can see some signs that they were going short there in ZN. But ES is sure acting like they're going to make this as uncertain as possible. Yeah, see, like they're reserving at 30.5 too.
I like how we're kind of holding near the higher prices on ES right now. I know we're getting like kind of whipsawing around a lot, but for the most part, we're kind of holding higher than or lower. It'd be cool to see 5-year traded lows or make new lows.
This is just typical E-mini action, right, where they're just as messy as possible because when they break out, they want to be able to stop people. We are at a good spot here in Treasuries too, because that 30 is probably going to be a key level because of the really big order that was there earlier and the amount of size that's on it and stuff. Oh, what just happened to my level 2 here? Yeah. This is 805. No. That's 700 East. Yeah.
I knocked earlier and I went back and went home. Hi. Hey. I was trying to make sure this was in the house for sure.
Yep. Okay, well, I got lucky with an exit once again. I'm not quite sure how I'm doing that, but that was a really odd turnaround in the E-mini. Did Izzy get his? I haven't gotten a good sell signal yet, but I'll be damned if I'm going to buy it now. Right? But it was such a good up move, right? It was like actually a really good buy. Obviously not as good as the sell. I mean, when it sold, it just went. I mean, that's what you want to catch, guys. Here, anybody watching this a year from now or whenever it is they happen to stumble upon this and just happen to be listening to me, that is what you're looking for, is when it just ticks and ticks and ticks and that pressure continues through, and you'll just see the next price pulls and the next price pulls, and then when you get to the bottom, there's going to be a potential level break setup, and you can either take it off before she goes, or you can see maybe it's going to go through. That time I think I probably could have seen that maybe it was going to go through and should have held it, but and then you take it off somewhere on there and wait for a pullback. Anyways, I got some lucky trades in here. I mean, this one was bad, but even that one could have been +2. So I would say I did a pretty good job. But I think I'm done for the day. I'm going to want to do some programming and hear kids waking up. It's going to be loud and so on and so forth. So yeah, I'm still going to be online all day in Discord if you guys want to talk to me about anything. So I'm taking the day off, but I don't think I want to take any more trades. So I will catch you guys later.